Here are 12 popular things that I will not be buying and my reasonings for why. A little anti-haul, if you will. So I did a whole lot of research TikTok, and I found these videos where they were commenting, they being women, what they wanted, and these were the answers that came up over and over and over again. Like, I was overwhelmed with the desire for these certain objects because, frame of reference here, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I do not like buying things, I do not like spending money, and I just think a lot of the things that are made these days are just so low quality that I just want to try to persuade a lot of people that it's not worth your hard-earned money. And last note, if you have anything on this list and you think it is life-changing, please let me know down in the comments below because I want to be convinced. I genuinely cannot understand a lot of these things on here. So starting off strong with Uggs. I think the ones with the embroidery around the outside, the slipper kind, I think they're actually pretty cute. I just think that they are so expensive and so impractical. If you actually live somewhere where it gets rainy or super snowy outside, then if you wear them outside, especially if they put the salt on the ground, you step outside in one little slush puddle and they're ruined. They are stained beyond belief. You can't wear them anymore and it's just a huge waste. To me, it is so much more practical to buy a pair of leather boots like Blundstones or Redbacks and then pair them with some really cute wool socks. It keeps your feet really nice and dry and warm all winter long, and then you can wear them for several seasons. And during the summer too, like it's an all-around all-purpose shoe. 10 out of 10 recommend those. But Uggs, cannot get behind, and you shouldn't either. I'm sorry, there's gonna be so much sass in these. These are gonna be a little controversial, but the next one is the Hatch alarm clock. Again, this was on almost every single person's wish list and I can't get behind it. It's a $170 alarm clock. You can program a couple different sunrises and it's supposed to kind of adjust to your sleep schedule, and I can understand the appeal because waking up sucks, but you know what actually makes waking up better? Is if you go to bed earlier. I much prefer just setting a free alarm clock on my phone and maybe hitting snooze a couple times, but like if it's 5 o'clock in the morning, nothing is going to make that wake up better. But again, if you have one and you love it, convince me. To me, it feels like one of those trends where everybody says that they are getting them, they want them. We're gonna have like 3 million Hatch alarm clocks in everybody's homes, and then 2 years from now, nobody's gonna be talking about them anymore. Nobody's gonna be using them. It's just a fad. Okay, this next one actually blew my mind. I kept seeing over and over again people talking about jelly cats, and at first I was like, oh, people want these for their kids, but it's like, no, they're for the adults. It's a stuffed animal. It's a stuffed bear. It's 100% polyester, plastic, cheap stuffed animal. And for some reason, we're deciding that spending $30 on this is a good idea. To me, it feels like the Beanie Baby craze. I think it's kind of being marketed as something to help with anxiety because you can kind of like snuggle with it. But in my head, there's a lot cheaper stuffed animals out there on the market that you could get. I don't know, to me again, it's one of those things where it's like you see a few other people saying that they're getting it and then suddenly you feel like you need to get it, and it's just not the case. Next up is an Aura ring. This one's gonna be a bit controversial. Some people get them and they love them, and I love that for you. I just feel like a lot of people that have them and love them are influencers that make a lot of money when they have you buy them from their product description. In theory, it sounds wonderful. You wear this cute little ring and then it keeps track of all your vitals and everything, and it helps you to be a healthier person. But what really gets me is the fact that you have to buy this expensive ring and then you also have to buy a subscription to be able to fully use it. And you can't convince me. I don't even love Apple Watches. Like, to me, that is just one more thing that I have to take care of. It's something that I have to charge every single day. It's giving me notifications, and it's just like too much information. I think that we have way too much information in our lives as it is. I don't need more of it. I can tell like, oh, I need to go for a walk. I haven't had enough movement for the day. I don't need per step how many steps I've actually gotten. And unfortunately, a lot of people get these things with the best intentions. Like, oh, I'm going to start running more because I have an Apple Watch, or I'm going to be a healthier person because I can track how long I've been sleeping. What ends up happening a lot of times for many people is that they get them and then they try it out a few times. They realize it's a lot of upkeep and it doesn't actually fit into their lifestyle very well. And so then they stop using it, and it was just a huge waste of money. All right, I'm looking at all of you that want to buy a new water vessel. Please tell me if you have any perfectly functioning water bottles or Stanley cups or anything already. Like, yes, the new colors of the Owalas and the new Stanleys with the little makeup holders, very cute. However, you don't need one. It bothers me on such a deep level when you find those videos of people opening up their cabinets and they have like 10 different Stanleys. Your water bottle should not be matching with your outfit. I have one water bottle from about like 5 years ago. It still holds my water. It's even still insulated still, and it works perfectly well. I will not be buying a new one until that one breaks. And what really gets me is when these influencers convince everybody to buy 3 new Stanleys, and then they're like, oh, I found a Stanley dupe on Amazon, and so then they convince you that you need to get that one because it's spill proof, when it's like, it's just constantly the push for buying new, buying better, buying a different color, buying variety. It'll make you happy. None of that stuff is true. If it holds your water, it does the job. That's all you need. Next, I feel like there is a craze. I feel like your brain shuts off for some people when you talk about perfume. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's the collectability of it or just like the perception of people that wear perfume, but it's kind of astounding. Like I was seeing these comments of these girls that were like, I want this perfume from Orbella and I want this one from Lush, and they would list out like 6 different perfumes that they're getting for this Christmas alone. And I can guarantee you that they already have a dresser top full of them. You can't even get through that many perfumes before they start to go bad. Again, I'm the weirdo that doesn't even like perfume because I feel like it's kind of a waste of money, and I'd like to try to stay away from like the toxic fragrance stuff. I like fragrance free. I just like being clean. So if this is you, make sure that you have used up everything that you already own. Use it all up, and then find out the 1 or 2 that you love the best, and then you can keep repurchasing those. Like, you don't need to try every single one out there. Next up is makeup. Again, I am such a weirdo with this. I don't own any makeup. I personally do not like it. This is another one that influencers push so hard, and it's so addictive to keep buying it. It comes in these pretty little packages. It feels like you're treating yourself, and it feels like it's an investment because it's something that you use. But the problem is that when you start to buy so much of it, like, you don't need 9 different lip liners, 6 different types of primers. Like, yes, there is a experimental phase when you're trying to find the one that you like best for your coloration and your skin type and everything. However, you don't need to go out and buy all of these different ones at once. Buy one, even if it's not the perfect fit, you can use it up and then go out and test a different one. But the problem is that you go and look on these videos, and the one that influencer is using looks so beautiful on them. They got it for free. They're going to make money selling it to you. And then you are going to go and test it out, realize that it doesn't work for your complexion. You unfortunately have wasted that money and you're still unsatisfied. But it's also so crazy to me that this is like a $1 billion industry, and there's so much branding that goes on with it. It's kind of baffling to me. But again, on all of these comments that all these girls were leaving, I don't even know these brands, but it's like the nude lip liners, those were really popular, and the like Refi face primer and Rare Beauty, and it's just these really expensive companies that made their packaging really pretty and they know how to market. So if you enjoy wearing makeup, go and find the things that work for you and then stick with it. And along with that is the expensive skincare. Now, this is one that I actually do believe in. I like skincare. However, I try to keep it really simple. I have my few products that I like from The Ordinary, which to me feels like a good mix of affordable and effective. And it doesn't have a whole lot of fluffery about, and I feel like it does wonders for my skin. So I can get behind that. But what I can't get behind is, again, this whole thing of like needing a certain expensive brand. I can guarantee you that most of these bottles of skincare that are $60, $120, it's not going to be any better than something else on the market. It's just the marketing that you are paying for. And I've kind of seen a lot of people talk about this, but it's like a lot of the fruity kind of skincares out there are just really gimmicky. Like, there's something about our brains that like the idea of like a fruity skincare thing, but first of all, there's usually not any fruit in it. It doesn't actually have all these natural ingredients that are going to be like wonderful enzymes for your skin and everything. It just has like watermelon fragrance in it. So this is just another thing. Watch where you are getting this information from. If this is an influencer that, again, is making a commission off of you buying it, maybe you don't need like the Drunk Elephant or the Tula Skincare or all of these other super expensive but popular brands on TikTok. Next up is Skims or any kind of body shaping garments. I've never been able to get behind this because it's 100% polyester, it's plastic, and to me that is just really cheap quality. And on top of that, I don't like super tight and constricting, and I think that's what a lot of people are realizing. They bought all of these bodysuits, and sure, they shape you, they make you look great, but you don't want to wear it for more than an hour because it's so uncomfortable. But again, unfortunately, once you buy it, that money is spent, you cannot get it back, and so then it sits in your drawer, and it's just a sad reminder of the mistake that was made in purchasing. Next up is the Dyson Airwrap. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, there are some people that love their Dyson Airwraps. Again, I think it's one of those things where influencers are making a ton of money. The beauty industry, anything that is going to fix how you look, just makes so much money. It is so lucrative. And so that is why you see it over and over and over again. And that is why you get convinced that it's going to change your life. I think a lot of people have a lot of complaints about the Dyson Airwrap. First of all, it's a very expensive piece of equipment, and then you get it and it might make your hair look great for about 15 minutes and then it falls flat. That's what I have seen over and over again from the people that are actually giving their honest reviews about it. And really, I think a lot of people go back to their $15 piece of equipment from like 20 years ago that still makes their hair look just the way that they like. Okay, next up, again, I'm way too practical, but to me, I don't think you need a new bag. There is so much about bags that, again, just drives me a little bit crazy, because it's like, you already have some bags. I can guarantee that you have something that you can put your stuff into and get from point A to point B. Is it going to perfectly match all of your outfits? Maybe not, but do you need a Chloe Paddington bag? Like, there are some very expensive bags on the market, and unfortunately, again, once a few people start saying that they want it, suddenly everybody else wants it too. The Longchamp bag, that is a very pricey bag. Or like the whole treat yourself mentality of going to Coach and getting a purse, or going to Louis Vuitton. And to me, a lot of times bags are not going to appreciate in value, especially the cheaper made ones that are still really expensive. You're going to bring them out into the world, they're going to get little nicks in them, they might start fraying and getting worn looking, and then that's just money gone. And it's like, these bags right now are really popular and everybody's wanting them and getting them this season, but by next year they're not going to be the in bag anymore, and then it's going to be a new one. It just keeps us in the cycle of constantly buying new, constantly wanting more. Okay, this one is super controversial. And I kind of like kept seeing it and just being a little flabbergasted, but everybody on their Christmas wish list was saying that they wanted Ozempic. And I understand. I understand. Trust me. And if you were prescribed this by a doctor to manage some of your health problems, then that is wonderful for you. But if you're getting it just to lose weight, just because you see everybody else using it and the weight is coming off of them, and it's your dream to be a certain body type or a certain body weight, I'm just not sure. Like, I don't know. Maybe it is this wonderful drug that has no side effects and it's perfectly okay for mass part of the population to start taking it, but I have some doubts. I don't think that this has been researched enough. I don't think that this is the cure-all that everybody thinks it is. And I also don't think it's managing the root cause of the issues. And the fact that this has turned into some sort of commodity, into some sort of like beauty thing where it's just something that you just nip out and buy is baffling to me. Again, I am not an expert in any of this, but I've also seen doctors and people come on and say, sure, it's going to give you this effect right now, but when you turn 60 and you fall and break all of your bones in your body, like, there are side effects. This does cause problems. And again, it's just that thing of, just because your friend is using it or just because an influencer that you like online is using it doesn't mean that you should necessarily just go out there and get it and use it for yourself. Okay, that's the end of my list. I'm so sorry. I felt like that was overly sassy and overly opinionated, but again, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I am wrong, and I look forward to chatting with you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Save your money, save the world. Okay, bye.